Welcome back to the Igniting Dreams Within podcast, where we solve life and business problems that transform businesses and individuals into happier and fulfilled ones. As we are about to end 2019, I want to introduce you to a series that I recorded with Nhlanhla Mafarafara. And the series is called the Self-Leadership Series, where we will be doing 5 to 6 parts on how do you lead yourself from the success of 2019 and the previous years into success into 2020 and beyond. If you and I are going to succeed in accomplishing our dreams, we need to lead ourselves well. We need to lead ourselves well in the area of our gifting, and we also need to be able to lead ourselves well, even in the areas where we are following others who are leading us in their areas of gifting. And if you and I are going to become great leaders, and if you and I are going to lead successful lives from here onwards, we need to be regularly checking and reevaluating ourselves and our leadership. Are you leading yourself well more than you are leading others? I like what John Wooden says. John Wooden says that success is it's the peace of mind in knowing that you and I did our very best. And if you and I are going to be accomplishing our life's purpose, if you and I are going to be living and fulfilling the purpose that God created us for, we need to lead ourselves well. Enjoy the series. What would be the moment that when you are looking back, or as you've been reflecting on 2019, what was that moment of transformation that you had regarding your dream, regarding your business and everything that you are doing?
I don't know if there's a specific time when I would say, boom, this is that moment. But some time ago, I think in 2018, towards the end of the year, I wrote a book called Step to the Next Level. And it's sort of a principles in terms that helps people to possess their position. So it helps you to master your life, and it helps you to craft a plan to evaluate your life and to craft a plan to achieve what you want to achieve. So every year since I published the book, I read the first chapter of the book, which is just a preface, because in the chapter there's a statement that bugs me a lot, where somebody looked at me and deemed me successful. But at the time when they deemed and looked at me successful, I felt like I was a loser. So now what happened this year was, I go into that statement to say, I don't want to appear successful. I want to be successful. So in the beginning of the year, I made a plan. One of my plans was I need to make 1 million. Profit from speaking in anything that I do. I didn't. I didn't make 1 million. I wish I did. That was number one. Number two, one of my other plan was I want to be invited to speak or to get an opportunity to speak outside South Africa. I didn't get that opportunity. Another thing that I wanted to do was I needed to attend a mentorship program, which I did. But my biggest transformation was when I had a student in my coaching course, online coaching course. I think she's in the second cohort. I had the first cohort last year, and then in the second cohort, which happened, it started this in February, there was a lady from Rustenburg in that cohort. And I made a mistake in the class. It happens, ne? I did not know that I made a mistake. So she sent me a very long email, and she said, Ebenezer Mamabolo, I appreciate the work that you've done with the podcast, with the online school of self-mastery, but, and she put the but, B-U-T, with a capital letter and bold. And then she said, you forgot to follow up on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wow.
And that was my moment of change, because it changed me like this. Because one, it meant that I've been doing things, but I was not thinking about them.
Wow.
Two, I've been doing things, but I was not evaluating them. 3, I've been doing things, but I was not monitoring them.
Okay.
So that email caused me to say, Mafarafara, go back to think about what you've been thinking about. You may have heard me in one of the incidents, in one of the meetings where I spoke, I said, think about what you've been thinking about.
Yes.
It actually came from that email because I was like, no. I can't be talking and not think about what I just said.
Okay.
And I can't be talking and not think about what I'm going to say.
Okay.
I first have to be convicted from what I'm going to say. 2, I need to evaluate what I'm going to say against my life.
Okay.
Against my plans. Against what I've already done. 3, I need to monitor what I say against my application.
Okay.
So if I'm teaching you something, remember, when I was telling myself in this year, I was like, I don't necessarily need to teach what I've already done.
Okay.
In one of the principles, Steve Covey, of the principles that in terms of the principles of highly effective people, the 7 habits of highly effective people, he said, one of the statements that he said, learn something, teach it.
Okay.
Then you will understand it better. So I said, look, I don't want to teach and not monitor whether it's working for me.
Okay, wow, okay.
So when this lady was sending me an email, because it's self-mastery, it's a school where you manage yourself.
Okay.
It means I had failed at one area to manage my own self.
Okay.
So with that email, I realized, no, I need to do this thing. I need to think about what I'm thinking about. I need to evaluate what I'm thinking about. I need to evaluate what I'm doing. I need to evaluate what I'm saying.
Okay.
I need to monitor the impact of what I'm thinking about. I need to monitor the impact of what I'm saying. I need to monitor the impact of what I do.
Okay, wow, okay.
And from there, I think a whole lot of things happen in my life.
Wow.
And I've won.
Yes.
So not long ago, I posted on my status and I wrote, winning against me. Because now I realize I've won a certain chunk of a battle against me. And I think all of us need to win against ourselves. Because the biggest person that is standing between you and your success is yourself. Your thoughts, your attitude, your mentality, your practices, your habits. So I needed to deal with that. And from one email.
That was the moment. Wow.
That was the moment.
And as you are sharing this, I'm even thinking about the moments that I had like last year also, where this year, where I had those moments where I'm like, Mara, I'm speaking about this, but it seems like in my life there's no synchronicity here. Let me take some time away. And I don't know if you noticed, you'll find that lately, as the year went to an end, you'll find that my presence on social media has been growing. Yes.
There was a time that it declined. When was it? I remember there was a time that you disappeared.
Yes, it was January.
Yeah, disappeared for 2 months or 3 months. 3 months.
Yeah. And what I noticed from that 3 months away, it's also part of why I was saying that. Thank you. When you told me about you having had created an online program, so I was on this trip to Johannesburg. And I was going to vet. I was going to sort out some things with my application that side. So now on this trip now of social media, I only have WhatsApp. I have WhatsApp because the people that I would want to talk to, or the people who are close to me, the best way for me to reach them when I don't have airtime is via WhatsApp. So WhatsApp I always keep. But now I've got this free time. Usually what I would do when I'm traveling, I usually would have a book that I'm reading and I would have a podcast that I would be listening to. But when I'm done with that, then maybe I would go on social media and share what I wanted to share. But this time now I'm off Facebook.
Yeah.
And I've got this time by myself to think. And I'm thinking about my life and I'm thinking about what it is that I want to do.
Yeah.
Then I've been thinking about creating online content or creating content. And Mr. Mafarafara has taught me and has even given me a system that I would use that will help me to launch this online thing or to do it effectively. Then because I had the time, it's like, okay, I took out my notebook, then I began writing. And I even crafted the program and I was done with it.
While you were on your way?
While on my way.
So one trip has proven to be productive for lifetime.
Very productive, yes.
It's a lifetime impact on one trip. It's
just one trip.
3-hour trip to Johannesburg. It changed your life.
Yes. So because I was thinking about that, and as this year was coming to an end, I asked myself, because I do check, I'm like, okay, on average, I would spend maybe 3 to 5 hours on Facebook, maybe creating posts
per day.
Yes.
Wow.
Or sometimes I'll be watching. Sometimes you'll find that I'll have something to post. Then after I've posted, I would want to see what's happening in South Africa. And I'll be hearing people and what they are saying. Sometimes I'll find that I'm even engaging in debates that I shouldn't even be engaging on those debates.
Yeah.
And find that I end up spending maybe 3 to 5 hours. Then when I was looking at that, then I calculated how many hours or how many days am I spending on Facebook that I should be using in my own life. And when I calculated, I realized that between 40 to 80 days of my life in a year, I would spend it on Facebook. 40 to 80 days.
That excludes the 2 months to 3 months that you spend sleeping.
Yes, that excludes that one. The one that I'll be checking posts, the one that I'll be posting.
So, Ebenezer, let's do mathematics here, and I hope it will work. So you spend 40 to 80 days.
80 days, yes.
On social media.
Yeah.
That is almost 2.5 months.
Yes.
On social media.
Yes.
Right? And you sleep how many hours?
Between 6 and 8.
So let's assume you sleep 6 hours. Let's say we're assuming that it's 6 hours every day.
Yes.
In a month, that is 30 days. It means you slept 180 hours.
Yes.
You get it. That means in a month you slept 8 days, right? And we multiply that by 4. In 4 months, you slept 30 days. So for every 4 months, you sleep 1 month throughout. So in the whole year, you slept 3 months.
Yes.
So if we say you slept for 3 months and you played on social media for 2.5 months,
yes.
that means that you only had 5.5 months
yes.
to live.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I looked at that and reflected on what I did when the year was beginning, then the question that I asked myself was, what could I do more with my life if I would limit the time I have on social media?
Yeah.
And get back those 3 or 5 months that I have with my own life. What could I achieve personally? What could I achieve in my businesses? And even the families, what could I do, or what could I use that time to, instead of me spending it on social media, what can I do to use that time to build my relationship with my family, or even those people who are closest to me? Because by that time, maybe I'll be with them, maybe we'd have maybe a family thing, but I'll regularly be checking on Facebook, thinking about a code that I would want to share, or thinking of something that I would want to share.
You had information overload.
Yes.
Was it working for you?
It was.
Okay. But the information that was overloaded, was it working for you?
No, not the overloaded one.
Okay.
No, yes. And when I was thinking about this, I said, this has to change with my own life. And I need to regain back my life. Because looking at what has been happening. And then I also went, maybe another moment, was when I realized that wherever I would go, I've seen this a lot of times. Where I would go, maybe I'll go to the mall, or I'll go and see someone, wherever. But in that moment where I see that person, they'll be like, oh, this guy, I know this guy. Where do I know this guy from? Then what I always know is that when someone says that they know me, they would usually know me from Facebook or from my social media. Then like, I remember there was this lady that I met in town, and she's like, no, I know you. Where do I know you from? Then immediately I said to her, like, probably from Facebook. Then she's like, oh, yes, I know you from Facebook. And when I was evaluating, because what I use for my social media for, I want to use it not only to make an impact, but to make an impact that will also help me build my own personal brand.
Yeah.
And that will also help me to generate an income. Because I can't be spending a lot of hours in research and making sure that because you'll find that the research that I'll be getting, it would be so complex. Maybe I'll be studying something like neuropsychology. And I spend hours, or probably sometimes even days, thinking about what I learned to try to simplify it in such a way that the person who would be reading the posts on social media or listening to what I'm saying on social media would get the same value, but more simplified. So you find that the time that I'm spending on social media, when I calculated and even the income that I generated from social media, I said that no, this has to change.
Yeah.
If I'm getting such a small income from this amount of investment, then I could take this time that I'm investing in social media and use it for other things in my life. Now, maybe this would be a question for you.
Yes.
Now, as you've been looking and reflecting on your life, do you also have those areas where, as you've been reflecting on what you've been doing, throughout this year where you saw that, no, I'm using a lot of time that I'm investing in this area, but I need to either improve or it's not working for me or something along those lines?
Yeah, I think there were a few areas. One, it's social media. There was a time that I announced on radio that I'm off social media. And unfortunately, or unfortunately, for some reason, your hours are similar to the hours that I was spending on social media.
Okay.
So I would spend 9 hours at work, but some way, somehow, I'd find myself having spent 3 to 4 hours on social media per day. And fortunately, you use a smartphone that actually shows you what we call screen time.
Yes.
So it came the other day, I did a show on radio which is called, and people can get it on podcasts, it's called Life Mastery with Nhlanhla. On that podcast radio show I said it's okay to be quiet. Take time to listen to yourself. It's okay to be quiet. And when I was preparing that, the question was, how does it work out for you? When I was preparing for that, how does it work out for you? And it was a question that was burning inside to me. Okay, fine. When was the last time that I took time off to be quiet, alone with myself, with nobody else?
Yes.
And I realized that I'm at work, from work, I'm at home with children, my wife. If I'm not at work or I'm not at home, I'm at church. But there was no me. If I'm not at church, if I'm not at work, I'm preparing for the next show where I'm supposed to speak, or I'm busy writing something, or I'm preparing a program that I need to go and train. So no, this has to stop. I need to think about me. I need to have time where I'm just silent. Just silent. Just not thinking about heavy stuff and not thinking about something that I'm going to do tomorrow. Just to say, let me breathe. Let me feel me. And then I moved away from social media, and I remember I deactivated some of the social media programs that I had. Now I'd post 3 times a day, and I spend less than an hour. My target is to spend less than 30 minutes. And I'll go in because I need to share something, or I need to see what specific people are sharing. So now, even when I go on Facebook, I actually go and type the name of a person. Because there are people that when they post on Facebook, they give you life.
Yes.
And then there are certain people, when they post on Facebook, they give you information about what's happening in South Africa. So I take those I'm always checking up on those people. And then the other group is certain people that I want to see where they are going to speak. So that I can maybe attend what they're about to do. If it's or the books that they recommend. So I'll go and check, this is what they've read. Maybe I can get the book and stuff like that. That was the first part. I've changed that, and I think I'm improving. I'm working on it.
Thank you for tuning in to part 1 of the Self-Leadership series, where we spoke about moments of transformations in our lives. On the next episode, we will be talking about opportunities. If you and I are going to be leading ourselves well into 2020 and beyond, we need to take advantage of opportunities. We need to learn what we need to learn when we take opportunities. And we also need to learn the tough lessons that you and I will be learning when we miss the opportunities that were presented to us by life, when we miss the opportunities that God had given us to succeed and thrive in 2020. See you on part 2. Thank you for tuning in.